We are making sourdough bread today because I woke up feeling like absolute crap and I have not done a damn thing all day. I did make it to the grocery store though, but we are making sourdough bread because that's just what we're doing, okay? So come along. We're gonna go through the entire process, start to finish. It's probably gonna be 2 to 3 parts, but for the first part, I'm gonna show you how to mix the dough and then how to do all your stretch and folds. It's time to make some bread because I've been feeling like absolute dirt all day, as you can see. I do not feel good, but we're gonna make some bread. And I fed her earlier today and she is looking amazing. Look at her, gorgeous. So for this recipe, I'm gonna use 100 grams of starter. You know, when your brain can't function, my brain can't function. 100 grams of starter going in, okay? And I'm doing this before the water this time because I don't know. Oh God, she's gorgeous. And don't ask me why every time I open my jar, you know, of starter that I have to smell her. I just need to make sure she's smelling good, okay? I need to make sure there's no craziness going on. It's a little over 100 grams, but I'm not going to beat myself up over that. And look at that baby. That's what I'm talking about. Now we got to get some water. I am warming my water up to about room temperature. And I'm also going to clean off the side of this because if you've ever dealt with sourdough, then you know that if you leave this stuff up here, it becomes a hard, concrete-like mess. And you don't ever want to deal with that. So I'm cleaning the stuff off around the side. So when I put that lid back on, she's not completely hateful. We don't need none of that. Okay, we're good. The water is around room temperature. It's not super warm. So we are going to go in with 325 grams of water. Did I say that slow enough for everybody? We're doing 325 grams of water. Now you got to pour this in quite slow because otherwise you end up getting way too much water and nobody needs that. Nobody needs that in their life. Speaking of way too much water. It's all good. It's all good. We're just gonna stir it up. You want to stir until you have this nice frothy consistency where the starter's mostly mixed in. That's what we're looking for, okay? Move this guy out. Can you see that? That's what we're looking for. Now we're gonna zero out the scale with the whisk in there. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna do 500 grams of flour. This is about a 70% hydration dough, and supposedly that's really good. Did I say that right? Supposedly, yeah, that's really good, especially it's a very beginner-friendly recipe. I wouldn't wanna do super hydrated dough. We're getting close, we're getting close. All right. We're just a few grams over. So we're just gonna pull some out. Yep, we're good. That's the way that works. And salt. Now, some people put their salt in after they've let the dough rest and right around their first stretch and fold. I don't like it. I don't like it. It feels too gritty when I work it in the dough, so I don't do that. So about 10 grams of salt. Or a little bit more, it's fine. There we go. Now we take this off the scale and we start mixing. That's the goal. We're just going to mix, mix, mix until this is all formed a nice shaggy ball of dough and the flour is completely incorporated. We are not looking for a nice smooth ball of dough like when you're making other types of dough. You're looking for it to be really smooth. That's not what we're looking for here. Okay, that's not what we're doing. We're just going to get the flour all mixed in, and I don't like getting my hands dirty. I don't because it's a sticky mess and it's a pain in the ass to clean off. And so I prefer to try to mix it in with this dough whisk. You don't have to have a dough whisk. I got one because I actually find that it's easier. It's a little bit easier to manage the dough with, but you could use a spatula, you could use a wooden spoon, whatever. You can use your hands, okay? Glove them up, don't glove them up, stick your hands in there and get your hands dirty. If that's how you like it, go for it. Just trying to get the stuff off the side of the bowl, and then I'm gonna make sure I'm mixing in the flour at the bottom. sometimes she gets a little unruly. I think there's starter stuck to my dough whisk. But I don't want there to be a lot of flour left in the bottom, so I just want to make sure I get that all mixed in. This is going to be a very shaggy dough. You come over there. Maybe I can get it off using this. This is my handy dandy dough scraper. And this little baby works really good for a lot of things, so. Now we go ahead and get all that flour off. There we go. Okay. It's looking pretty mixed in. Not much left on the dough whisk. So now I go around with this dough scraper and we're just going to scrape down the sides of the bowl. And just make sure that there's no, like, huge amount of flour hanging out anywhere that's not mixed into the dough. So I can just kind of do this with the dough scraper. And then we're good. Get that little piece off of there. So it's a really kind of shaggy piece of dough ball. That's fine. That's exactly what you're looking for. I'm going to cover her up. We're going to leave her on the counter for about an hour. And then we're going to come back and do our first round of stretch and folds.